Hello, YouTube and world, and anyone else managing to watch this from under a rock somewhere with a Wi-Fi connection. Um, my name's Alex. Welcome to the first video for my YouTube channel. This is supposed to be all dedicated to my life and experiences as an artist as I learn, grow, and do stuff. I've had a lot of time on my hands the last few months, so combat the boredom a little bit on top of just making things and posting pictures on Instagram and Facebook and filling my time other ways. I decided finally to go with this idea I've had for a while of making a video blog of sorts, just like a monthly update type of thing where I just show what I'm working on, why I'm working on it, how, and a few other random insights and tidbits and stuff just for shits and giggles, essentially. So without further ado, I'll give you the whole grand tour of the space I'm in. It's my studio that I live and work in here. It's not too big, not too small. You know, I've definitely seen smaller, more cramped places, but it's perfect for me. It forces me to focus on one or two things at a time. And when you can get as crazy and out of control with a lot of the ideas and concepts that I want to work on as an artist, that's a little nice and refreshing to have that reminder there that you're stuck with a finite amount of space. I can't go crazy like I'm in some giant loft or warehouse somewhere. Hopefully one day, but not today. So, I'll show you this nice little tour. It's my living space, kind of working space, as you can see a little bit. When I try to do some larger things, I need to use the bed as a table. I got my actual table, which I draw and paint on. It's kind of splitting the room in half. Big aquarium and living space here with a few couches and some plants and stuff in the other aquarium. And you go this way, you end up getting the closet, bathroom, kitchen, all that stuff that no one really cares about. So like I said, it's a pretty small place, like 700-800 square feet. So like I said, I've definitely seen smaller, seen a lot bigger though. Wish it was bigger, but it's the right fit for me for right now. So can't really complain. If it was daylight out, you'd be able to see it's nice, it's tranquil, there's trees everywhere. I'm in northeast Florida, north of Jacksonville, so I'm like 15 minutes away from the city if I need anything, and I'm 5 minutes away from the two towns that I border, that I live in, and it's real tranquil from an artistic, creative person's point of view. If you're a writer or a musician or an artist of any kind, or there's nothing that can distract you unless you purposefully want to be distracted. You can just be hidden away here from the world for as long as you want. So I've started to kind of call the little studio, the building that I live in, my little hideaway of sorts. Just the name of the building, just because that's really what it is. If I want to disappear and just do my own thing and not be disturbed by the world, I just stay here. I can even go outside, have a bonfire, hang around in my hammock, and not a soul around. So I enjoy it. For the art part of this, and get back into it, for 2016, one of the things I decided to do that was also part of the reason why I'd start making these videos was I wanted to do something different month to month. And for 2016, I decided, just to kind of give my life a little more of that structure from an art point of view, would be to focus on a different color each month. And I also decided, because right now I have 3 main types of art that I do, styles that I paint and draw. They're all abstract in one way or another. I'm not going to go into the subgenres and styles and definitions of everything. But those are the 3 things that I do the most, and that I like and enjoy doing the most. So I decided I'd do one of each of those, focusing on the different color for each selected month. By the end of the year, I'll have 36 pieces of artwork, on top of all the other random stuff I do, the other ideas that pop in my head, the bigger projects. So it gives me a lot of work to do, and more opportunity to show stuff and sell stuff whenever I get all that set up and planned and executed as far as the business end of it goes. So I'm going to cut the video up. Since I'm only filming this on my iPhone, I don't have a GoPro or any other nice professional tools. So I'm going to stop the video and you'll pick it back up and see what I've been working on for this month and a few of the other things, and we'll go from there. So like I said, I've been working on 3 different works, color focused on red this month for January. And this is the first one that I did. I've been calling them swirls, and it's pretty straightforward. Sometimes I refer to them as drunken swirls. But this one's just about 6 different colors of red, different shades, and a little bit of black. And there's even a touch of gray in there, but the swirls that look gray are actually a dark red, different kind of red, not real dark, but when you change your perspective on it, the light reflecting off of the background, one thing I did with the background is make it a little shinier, a little glossier with different kind of paint to force the light to reflect differently than all the swirls. So I'm going to pick it up, I'll kind of show you the difference, that if you're in a natural daylight, if it was hung somewhere where it gets some daylight in the room, or you just focus the lights on it differently, that it'll reflect different styles, different angles, depending on how you're looking at it, and you'll pick up different details in it. You won't see as much of the detail in the background in one area versus the other, and at the same time it'll blur out some of the swirls but highlight and magnify other ones that you can't see normally. So I thought that was pretty cool little trick. It's the first one that I've done like that with a different background, and gonna experiment with it some more, but I like it, so gonna go from there. And like I said, that's the first one. The second one for this month is this guy here. It's a 16 by 20. It's very straightforward. It's just all red. It's just 6 different shades of red. It even has some glitter paint on it, just because I wanted to give it a little shininess, but not go too crazy. I'm probably one of the few people that could appreciate glitter paint for its artistic purposes and qualities, if it really has any. You can kind of see that reflectiveness in a little bit of the paint. And the rest of it, it's the same 5-6 different shades of red, and it's just layered on top of itself. It's just back and forth type of scribbles instead of like all over the place scribbles like you can imagine a toddler doing on a wall with some crayons. So this is more deliberately placed, different angles, different directions, and I just let each layer of paint dry completely before putting on the next one. So any blending of the colors all happens with your eyes. They're all different solid colors layered on top of each other. As you can see with like this black one that I did last year, I can go and experiment with it and change up the directions, the shapes, and get more elaborate and detailed with what I do with that style. It doesn't just have to be paint on top of paint on top of paint for the sake of making it look interesting. But, you know, I'm the artist and I can do whatever the hell I want. So the third style is the most labor-intensive one. It doesn't really have a defined name yet. I've tried calling it a few different things. Hasn't found anything catchy enough that sticks yet. But it's just these geometric line pattern drawing things that I've been doing. I paint them too, but the paintings take a hell of a lot longer. But with the drawings, it's pretty easy to knock this out in about a week. And you can see the downside to drawing it is, you know, using a pen to draw or a marker to draw even degrades the paper enough that you can get to this point with larger filling in spaces. You risk destroying the paper versus getting the color filled in. So that's why I like painting them better, because you can get more uniformity in the piece. But as you can see, it's just kind of, when you back away from it, it blends into the depth in it a little bit, where it's just swirling around those shapes and just disappears behind it into oblivion in smaller and smaller spaces from the lines. I put that this other one here is an example that would take me about an hour or two. That's how I started doing them, with just a touch of color. And so I've finally gone into the full color mode with drawing them and with painting them. And the same thing with this style, with all three of the styles. As I go throughout the year, I'm going to try to do things a little differently, do things a little more creatively, and make it a little more challenging on myself for these color focused works. Hopefully I'll come up with some more interesting and unique ways to make them all. I don't want them all to look identical, even though they'd be different colors. But if I do get lazy or run out of time and I just make more like this, I'll still try to make them special. So the other thing I wanted to show you were two of the large projects I've been working on. These are the ones that take a year or longer for me to do, at least in my current situation. This is the most recent one I started. It's a prototype for a much larger work. It's going to be 4 times the size. It's just like the geometric shape and line type of things I showed you. This is the version of it that'll be painted. It got a little bit of water damage on it. It's easy to fix, mind that. But as you can tell, as I try not to fall over, you can see all of just the lines and the details I've been working on. I got these 4 squares done just to give you a kind of example loosely on what it roughly will look like. And you can see the little bit of depth creeping out in there from the 4 different pieces finally being placed together. And if you multiply it out 4 more times, and then once I draw the second layer, and then you get all the color in there, how interesting it'll look. I can't quite picture it in my head yet, but it'll be nice to see it completed in hopefully less than a year. And then I'll go on to the real one, the full-sized version, which will be using 2-foot squares instead of 1-foot squares. So it'll be 8 feet by 8 feet and have a lot more detail in it, a lot more painting, a lot more coloring than this prototype. So it'll be interesting to see how that turns out. The other one is the same idea, to give you a little concept of what the style looks like when it has color in it. And this is what I was working on for the last half of 2015. I didn't get it done, had some other things I was taking care of, and it's got about a month left. But like I said, this will give you an idea. Just one of the designs that I work on, where sometimes I piece a few different canvases together to make something more geometric and interesting looking, so the canvas itself is also part of the artwork. It's almost like a sculpture of sorts, that I make the canvas into a work of art and then I decorate the canvas itself. But you can tell it's just blue and purple, and you can see some of it if you really focus on it when you're looking at it in person. Depending on how your eyesight is, it can really start to give some people a headache. It's kind of a little funny that way, but it's not like that's my intention. But it's just different version of these type of styles. Like, I've been trying to make them differently, other than just drawing or painting an individual canvas or an individual piece of paper. So this is kind of where I've been going with the shapes and lines, the whole geometric thing. So that's pretty much everything I've done for January, art-wise. So I can I'll sum up the video in another minute. I hope you liked seeing some of this stuff. If you did like it all, you can, like I said, you can find me on Facebook, Instagram. You can see the pictures of the other works in progress that I've been doing, and you can get a little more detail on them as I do them, and ask me some questions if you're interested. And you can see I got a couple other random things just hanging up and sitting around for other various projects and other styles. But I hope you liked it. If you didn't, tough shit. It's my artwork, not yours. If you want to see something different, go out and make some. So I hope you liked watching, seeing all the stuff I've done for January, at least. Get a little more insight into what I'm doing and what I'm going to be doing for the rest of the year. I'll have another video in February. Until then, you can find me on any of the social media. Right now, my Instagram and my Twitter is both Studio 909. You can find me on there, or you can find me on Facebook. It's you just search AJW Gallery. That's the name on the page for now. I'm trying to come up with a unified name for my entire online presence, especially for when I get to the point of launching my own website and like an Etsy page or something to actually sell some artwork on, until I can get to the point where I have my own website completely up and running. So find me on any of there. I'll post some links in the video description if I can, or the little bubbles that pop up on the video should have something. And share it if you want. Comment on it. Hopefully positive comments. But in the art world, criticism's always welcome as long as it's constructive. If it's pointless criticism, then screw yourself. But I'll see you guys later.